All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So here we are with about 48 hours later with the Xiaomi Redmi S2. Now this has a 12 megapixel and a 5 on the rear here, and it has the 16 megapixel on the front. This phone has 3 gigs of RAM. There's a couple of different variants of this phone. I have the 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs onboard storage version. And there's also a 4 gig version with 64 gigs onboard storage. It does have a Snapdragon 625, and so you're going to get stellar battery when using this thing. That's pretty much what it's been for me. No complaints about the phone itself. I actually forgot that it was a 720p display, and I'm watching YouTube and I'm like, why isn't this thing showing in 1080p? And I thought, oh shoot, it's 720 by 1440. So that kind of threw me off, but nonetheless, it's been great. I am running the Nova Launcher on here. The only reason I put the Nova Launcher on here is because I wanted an app tray, and that's pretty much the only reason. I didn't want to go through all the hassle of organizing all my application and stuff on this phone, because I have 100 plus apps on here, and I'm only keeping all these different folders. But I just went on ahead and did Nova Launcher, and it did a quick backup. I have a backup for this setup right here that I've just had for a long time, so I'll restore to this. The wallpaper though is from the phone. If you're wondering where that wallpaper come from, it's a default wallpaper. But the overall experience on this phone for the last 2 days, it's a little over 2 days, but you know, officially 48 hours has passed with usage. And you know, this phone has been really good. I want to start where you probably already know that you're going to get success. Even though this is a 6-inch display, it has the Snapdragon 625 with a 3080 milliamp hour battery. So the battery inside is going to give you fantastic usage. And so we go over to hardware. It's been about over a day and a half since I've charged this phone. And then the screen on time is 6 hours and 3 minutes so far. And I've got 15% left. And I don't have any kind of power saving on. When I have phones like this with this processor and these big batteries, I just don't turn on power saving at all. It's just not necessary. It's unfortunate that these pocket friendly phones, and not that this one is a 720p display, because all the other phones that I have are pretty much 1080p and they perform the same, if not better. So battery life is what I expected it to be, which is great. The overall feel in hand though is what I'm having an issue with. Well, not an issue, but it's just weird because the display kind of sits on top of the phone. Hard to explain, but the display kind of sits on top. It's super weird. But it feels weird. It feels sharper in the hand around the edges, even though it's curved. It just feels sharper on the edges than you would believe. I swear. It's just, you have to feel it to understand what I'm saying. It's not a bad feeling. It's just, you wouldn't think that this phone felt like this if you had a bunch of phones that pretty much are the same size and look the same and are built the same, but the displays don't sit on top, so it doesn't feel as sharp. So you actually get a little bit more grip around the sides, because you'll find yourself doing this with the display sometimes if you hold this phone for an extended period of time. So the network is something that people always worry about with these phones. This does have band 4, so you will be able to get LTE in the US depending on where you live. And let's see if I can get it to focus up here on this LTE logo. There we go. So you see I'm using T-Mobile LTE. You guys always ask what carrier I'm using, so most of the time I'm tested on T-Mobile, so I haven't had any problems with LTE or anything like that. And again, this is going to be spotty coverage depending on where you live. You'll get some great coverage, and I just haven't had any. I never had any issues with any of these phones that I get that only have like a band 4 or only a band 2. I just don't have. This one actually has band 2 and 4, but the 2 is listed up under the 3G section. But you know, I just haven't. I've been getting great LTE coverage all over, and I haven't had any problems with it. So I'm feeling this, man. I mean, the display is 720, but you know, most TVs now that people have are still 720, and that's just what it is. So let me check the software here for you. Go to, oh, I got a software update, man, and that's what I was gonna say. This phone is great for software updates. I didn't even know that it had a software update, but I'm running Android 8.1, and this software update It's probably going to push us up to the latest one. So it's fixing gallery and contacts. So that's a huge plus. You know, it's taking us up to 9.5.90. I'll reboot later. But you know, someone asked about the software, and again, this is the Nova Launcher. You know, even if I didn't have the Nova Launcher on here, this is one of the first Xiaomi phones I think that I just put the Nova Launcher on here. Only because I didn't want to do the setup like I said at the beginning of the video, but the software on these phones are great, man. I don't have any issues with them. They flow through pretty smooth. It's optimized very well with the hardware that's put together, and there's just no issues with me personally with the Xiaomi skin. But if you did want to run Nova Launcher, you will get just a smooth performance. No problems at all, man. Day to day with the software is good. I just don't have a complaint about that yet. One complaint I will have though, and I'll tell you about this, and you might not experience this, or you might experience it, I don't know. But when recording video, I noticed that the audio either it drops off at the beginning, like it's not matched up, it's not synced up for some reason. That is the strangest thing I've ever experienced on a phone, and I did it multiple times. And after I was recording video, I put up the video review of this phone for the cameras. I don't know, I guess it's live now, and you know, I was looking at the audio and I was thinking, is my computer off or something? I'm like, no, this is a Mac, and I tried it on a PC works the same. So I was having some syncing issues with the audio. I don't know what that was about. Like literally, I open up the camera and press record. Let me see if I can do it now. Let me see if I can just replicate it right now. All right, so quick sample from the, now you see how it's, I don't know if you caught that, where the timer didn't look like it was moving, it was on 0. And then it jumped to like 5. So let me see, play that back and see if I can get it to show the audio lag and difference. Well, you're not watching my mouth move, but let's see if it'll work. There you go. So instantly the video starts. And then it jumped to like 5. Instantly that video started with my voice. So there's some kind of delay in processing with the video with the audio. Super strange. I've never seen that on a phone before. So when I guess you use this phone, sorry about, I got out of focus for a second. You use this phone, it's something about that first initial start of the software. I have no clue what that's about, but that's the only issue that I think I've run into. Other than that, the quality is great, because once I was trying to shoot that footage, and I was like, something's wrong with this audio syncing. So I just waited to talk, and then I started talking, and then got it's almost like that 5-second gap to where this phone is having trouble recognizing that it's doing a video recording. I don't know what it is. I'm not an expert. But nonetheless, this does have the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. You do have a fingerprint reader, and the fingerprint reader is actually pretty quick. I just turn it off and turn it back on. It's actually pretty good, man. Less than 2 seconds, or about a second to, probably less than a second, I don't know, but about a second or so response time. This comes in gray, gold, and rose gold. You can see the link in the description to check this out if you're interested in picking this up. This is actually a premium feeling device. It looks really good. It looks like a high-end device, and it performs really good, man. I mean, photos come out great. I don't have any complaints at this point, just with that little audio lag in the camera. Other than that, this is a good phone, man. It's a nice size screen. It's got the 18:9 ratio. It's a kind of a winner right now. 170 isn't bad for something like this, because there's a ton of phones out there that offer so much less that cost more. So it's your man Jay Will. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for more.